In the previous chapter, we saw Ye Lin narrowly escape death, saved at the last moment by the arrival of exalted He Ran. Despite He Ran's intervention, Ye Lin's pride stopped him from conceding defeat. But just when the tension seemed to ease, a sudden explosion from the thunderflame snake struck Ye Lin, leaving him gravely injured. With bloodied lips and fading strength, Ye Lin finally admitted defeat in his heart, as even He Ran looked shaken by the mysterious power at play. Let's begin the chapter. The exalted double dragons were the undisputed strongest in the Western lands. No one, absolutely no one, could take a life within their domain unless they explicitly allowed it. Not even the formidable Danking Shen could bypass this decree. Evidently, this entire incident left everyone utterly speechless. Even the exalted themselves were shocked. Zhuo Fan, and remember he wasn't even in the ethereal stage yet, released this black serpentine energy. No matter how powerful, exalted He Ran still managed to catch it. It was plain for everyone to see. He was in control. Yet even with exalted He Ran feeling completely in control, the truly unexpected occurred. His very claw was overcome by a sudden explosion. The one he was supposed to protect got hit hard. It was a serious blow. The crowd was gobsmacked, having to pick their jaws off the floor. They couldn't believe what they had just seen. Zhuo Fan is a straight-up savage. One of the onlookers uttered, "He actually managed to hurt someone under the Exalted's protection right in front of everyone. This has never happened before, not even once." Yan Mo chuckled in response. "The entire Western lands are going to know his name now. That's for sure. One day, I believe, he'll even be the best in the Western lands as well." The crowd, all still stunned, started talking to each other in hushed, almost reverent tones. The mystical Heaven Sex girls were gesticulating and clamoring with excitement, each one trying to voice their shock. Only Zhuan Xiaoyu stood there, dark and brooding, his heart filled with consuming rage. He thought to himself, this accursed bastard, he still got on top. The entire scene was incredibly noisy. Everyone was absolutely shocked by what they had witnessed. Exalted Bai Mei stood there for a long moment, seemingly lost. Even he, someone who had witnessed so much, found it difficult to believe what just occurred. He thought, even with that old-timer's intervention, it still ended like this. It's so unbelievable. I should have gone over there as well. But then he shook his head with a slight chuckle. Ha ha ha, hindsight truly is 20/20. With how quickly it all happened, my intervention wouldn't have made much of a difference. No, the true culprit to blame is that strange thunder flame, that weird black fire that was able to completely destroy the claw and throw everyone off. The question now, though, is Ye Lin. Is he alive? Bai Mei looked on with a significant amount of worry, since this young man was going to be his future disciple. Junior brother! Wu Qingqiu rushed immediately, spotting Ye Lin collapsing, and held him up, trying to give support. Exalted He Ran was still completely out of it to react properly. Now, as his mind caught up with what had happened, he looked at Zhuo Fan with sheer, unfiltered disbelief. If he has the power to disrupt my move now, what future does he hold? What can he become? This is a true battle of freaks, with truly limitless potential. Pfft. Zhuo Fan noticed Ye Lin collapsing and sported a pleased smile. But then, all of a sudden, he threw up blood and fell down beside Qiaoer, now feeble and pale. That black thunder flame, while incredibly powerful, came with a cost. To withstand such power, Zhuo Fan's body had to pay the toll. He was only standing by using sheer willpower, and now that the intense moment had passed, his body finally gave way, and he collapsed. Exalted He Ran understood why, as well. He chose to hurt himself just so he could take down the enemy. Zhuo Fan is just as wounded as Ye Lin because of that moment. Oh, Ye Lin! Is he dead? Finally getting his senses back, Exalted He Ran rushed over and yelled out, "Wu Qingqiu, how's your junior brother doing?" "Thank you for your concern, Exalted. Junior brother is in a very critical state, but thankfully he still has a breath left. He should recover, with enough time." Wu Qingqiu bowed while still holding up Ye Lin. Exalted He Ran nodded slowly, and then he heard Zhuo Fan sighing out loud. He still has a breath after all. It's all that damn old coot's fault, ruining most of the thunder flames. Power and leaving just a sliver of it. "Hey, that old coot is right here. Don't think I can't hear you just because you're mumbling, young man. Are you trying to make me look even worse than I already do?" Exalted He Ran, while still, concerned, gave a glare at him, but then shook his head. "You and Ye Lin are rare talents in the Western lands. We don't want to see either of you die. You both have a lot of potential. I might have come to Ye Lin's rescue, yes, but if it were you, I would have done exactly the same thing. I would have come to save you instead." Zhuo Fan simply lay there in silence. He didn't say anything in response. He knew, the instant that old guy showed up, that getting revenge for Chao Er and actually killing Ye Lin, that became virtually impossible. But even he didn't quite grasp just how nifty the Thunder Flame was, that it escaped Exalted He Ran's control and managed to strike that punk so hard that it almost killed him. Now his anger was mostly gone. That left Chao Er's terrible state as his primary concern. The beam of light suddenly reappeared in the valley. It showed up one more time. Exalted He Ran was the first to step forward to the entrance of the light and said, "Time's up. The fight's verdict is now up to the judge to decide." Then with a flash, he was gone, transported back to the main area. Wu Qingqiu glanced over at Zhuo Fan, his expression complex. He just let out a big sigh and signaled to his team that it was time for them to retreat. It was time to go back. The demon scheming sect's disciples rushed to Zhuo Fan's side, awaiting his orders. After they retrieved the thunder ring and carefully placed Chao Er inside of it, they helped him move towards the light so he could be transported back. Soon, everyone left the valley, leaving only Danking Shen hiding in a corner, muttering to himself, "Kid, you're the first one in all of history to wound someone right in front of Exalted He Ran, ha ha ha." Danking Shen then vanished. From his hiding spot as well, his job here was done. Clap. When the teams returned back to the main area, they were immediately showered in applause, a great roar, filled with shock and excitement. Ye Lin and Zhuo Fan's fight had been an absolutely amazing display of sheer power, the best of the best, everyone agreed. The people, after witnessing that display, had finally come to terms with who they believed would be the future best in all the Western lands as well. Cough, cough, cough. The judge cleared his throat, sounding slightly hoarse. He looked over to the unconscious Ye Lin, who Wu Qingqiu was holding up on his back, and then his eyes shifted to the weary Zhuo Fan, being supported by Kui Lang. He began, "I have served as judge at the Double Dragon Gathering for 5 times now. I have seen my fair share of promising disciples, but only the 2 of you have truly filled me with hope for the future of the Western lands. You've both done exceptionally well, ha ha ha." The judge then suddenly turned serious, his voice changing to a more somber tone. "It is time to give the verdict. In this Ultimate Clarity Sect versus Demon Scheming Sect challenge fight, the Ultimate Clarity Sect has returned with 1 severely wounded member, and the Demon Scheming Sect has also returned with 1 severely wounded member. The result is a draw!" "Wait!" Wu Qingqiu suddenly cried out. Everyone turned to watch him as he looked at Zhuo Fan, his eyes stern. The team battle's outcome hinges on Ye Lin and Zhuo Fan's individual fight. My junior brother will most likely not like it, but we must face the truth that a loss is a loss. Ye Lin lost to Zhuo Fan, and that means that Ultimate Clarity Sect has lost to the Demon Scheming Sect in this challenge battle. The judge was completely surprised, but then he nodded in agreement. "Wu Qingqiu, the loss of a team battle greatly affects the entire sect. Will your elders approve of this decision? As far as I'm aware, you are one of the few sects that..." did not bring a venerable with them. That shows me how confident the sect is in you and your strength. Ultimate Clarity sect has always been carefree, not seeking fame and wealth. It's simply not in our nature. A loss is a loss, and there is nothing more to it. Twisting our path and our beliefs, just for some gain, goes directly against our sect's teachings. Wu Qingqiu held his head high as he declared, earning everyone's respect and admiration for his honesty and character. The judge nodded, accepting this. In that case, the first of the 9 sects will be... The judge paused for effect, making the moment even more intense. He looked over at the demon scheming sect, and the members were now overflowing with joy and excitement, not believing their eyes, not believing what they had just heard. They had achieved the top spot. Then a cold and familiar voice came booming out, "Wait!" Now the eyes immediately darted over at Zhuo Fan. Everyone wanted to know what he was going to say. Ugh, now what? The judge frowned, showing his slight frustration. Zhuo Fan said, "Nothing really. It's just that we can't accept the top position. Brother Zhuo, this is what you've won. You've earned it." Zhuo Fan waved his hand at Wu Qingqiu and explained, "Brother Wu, since it is a team battle, it should be 10 against 10. Ye Lin and my individual fight was, as the name implies, just a single fight. If I had the strength to fight further after this, I would have absolutely taken the challenge, of course. Ha ha ha. However, you all can clearly see the terrible state that I'm in right now. The rest of my disciples would be no match for your sect even at their best. This team battle is our loss, so it is unfair to be rewarded. I may not be a nice guy, no, but I am completely open in my actions. I don't take more than I deserve. I can't accept a victory that I did not earn, or I'll see it as nothing more than charity. And I won't allow myself to be insulted that way." Wu Qingqiu shook his head and immediately cupped his hands in respect. "Brother Zhuo, you may be a demonic cultivator, but you truly are a gentleman at heart." "No, I just have a mean guy's pride, ha ha ha." Zhuo Fan chuckled, smirking to himself.